You are tuned in to What a Baltimore Online Radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed are of the host and not of Lady J Media. Thank you and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining Mental Wellness Coaching with DWendell. Your session begins right now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you today? I trust and believe that you are of the mindset to know everything will work out. Um, Everything will work out. So let's take care of a few minor details. My name is DWendell. I am a mental wellness coach. Mental wellness coach. It's not about mental illness. It is about being mentally well, mentally strong. And there's a process for that happening. There is an order that God has created within you to help you overcome whatever confronts you. Again, my telephone number is 240 626 6849, and my email, heartmindconnection at icloud.com. Again, I keep telling you that the website is going to be up and functioning. We are still a week or so away from finalizing everything that needs to be there, as well as this marvelous online program for mental wellness, and it's interactive. I actually meet with you every day, not every day, but whenever you sign in for your session, and it's instructional. It is very instructional, and it's just going to be packed. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about something that's part of the program, and it's called a toolbox. A toolbox. And what happens in that toolbox, there are 5 specific tools that you will need for each phase of the mental wellness training program. And I'm going to talk about one tool today specifically, and that particular tool is the Bible. It is the Bible as a tool. When we talk about and think about the Bible, the way we reference and utilize the Bible is not as some religious tool. I am not hurting you or driving you or influencing you or even advising you to go become a part of a religion. That's the furthest thing from our instruction and teaching. Our instruction is to learn the person who the Bible is talking about. Learn the person who the Bible is talking about. And let me give you an example. Um, since last week, one major thing that has happened, it appears that a foreign entity, a foreign body of government, has hacked into our gas or pipeline system. And so the flow of gas is under, the flow and availability of gas is under direct attack. And as always is the case, now I have a question at the end of this. But as always is the case, the average man, the low man on the totem pole, where we are, will bear the of what someone else did. We will bear the brunt of what someone else did. And what does that look like? To bear the brunt is that gas prices will go up. I understand. I was informed yesterday that some gas prices up to $3 a gallon, and so so the prices are going to keep going higher and higher, and there is a ceiling. But remember, while the prices are going higher, our income, they're still squabbling about the income increase. They're still squabbling about your getting a raise, so to speak. So the question is, with the gas prices going up, all prices are going up because it's going to cost. You know how the system works. You know very well how the system works. Because it's going to cost more money to get goods to market. It's going to cost more money. Gas prices are up, oil prices are up, etc. So it's going to cost more money to get the goods to market. And we bear the brunt of the price of them getting more goods or getting the goods to market. So again, that raises the question, what are you going to do? Now, for me to you, it raises the question. Now, remember, not only are the gas prices going up and they are requiring more money out of your resources, out of your pocket, they want more money, then the question becomes, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Now, remember, not only gas prices are up, the cost of getting goods to services is up, the cost of food is marketably up or significantly up. Where does that leave you? Where does that leave you? Now, remember I said we needed a tool. We need a tool to matriculate or get this through this event. I referenced the tool of using the Bible. And how did I say use the Bible? Use the Bible in a way that you will become familiar or get to know the person who the Bible is talking about. Who is the Bible talking about? Remember now, not remember, but understand the Bible is not just a set of rules and regulations and laws. A lot of us choose not to believe or follow the Bible because we don't want to submit ourselves. We don't want to submit or surrender ourselves to a higher authority. And that's okay. You don't want to surrender yourself to a higher authority. Therefore, you are your own higher authority, which raises the second question. The first question was, what are you going to do about this shift that's happening? And remember now, the edict or the understanding is that what you see is not fully what is going on. There's something else going on behind the scenes. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia, and down in that area, over in the Virginia Beach area, actually, there's something called a rip tide. It is a rip tide, and those from that area or water areas understand. With a rip tide, the water on the surface seems calm, and that you could just swim and function in it well. But below the surface, there's an undercurrent, an undertow that pulls you down and sucks you down into it to where you ultimately drown. And you have to be skilled about swimming out of that or getting out of that riptide. So I said that to say what we see going on, there's much more going on behind the scenes. Now, the way the Bible describes that is that we do not battle or fight against flesh and blood. We are fighting principalities and powers in high places. And you can't get up there and do hand to hand combat with them. So the question becomes, what is your power source? The source of your strength, the basis of your hope, the one you look to for answers and direction. What is your power source doing to address or to help that situation? What is your power source doing to help that situation? My source of power, being this tool, the Bible, says to me, clearly, if take no thought about tomorrow or what you shall eat or drink, for your Father in heaven knows you have need of these things and has provided them. So I can rest in that fact. Again, I'm not resting in the fact of a religion. I'm not resting in what I call the fact of what someone says, which raises this is a key point here. How do you listen to whatever guides you? How are you guided? You know, a lot of us, a lot of us move about almost through what somebody says to or about us. That's the way we move. That's the way we function. That's the way we think. That's the way we act. As and how do you interpret it? Again, remember we started out months ago talking about, and I reiterated, you cannot control how and what circumstances come into your life. You cannot control the circumstances that come into your life. All you as a human being can control is your reaction to that circumstance. All you can control is your reaction to that circumstance. That becomes key because once you make a decision on how you're going to react, then your brain picks up the instruction from your mind and your action, and that becomes a reaction. And the reaction releases adrenaline and various things into your body. And once these things are released, then your body reacts. Now it can react in a way that's constructive, that is informative, that is protective. My Again, the Bible as a tool points me to the reality that God will fight all your battles for you. That's a reality for me. So I don't need to. You will not need to be concerned, overly concerned or concerned at all about where gas is coming from. Seems strange. I think it was the gas crisis. The last gas crisis we had, maybe '70s, in the '70s, where a matter of fact, it got to the point where they had even and odd days, according to your license plate or some number they gave you. You could get gas on this day, and if you got gas on Monday, then it will be another group on Tuesday, and they will break it down that way. Now, let me give some supporting evidence for that. When there is any severe in Maryland, I spent some time in Maryland, and at times we would have pretty heavy snowstorms. During one of the most severe snowstorms, I never saw at any time a bird dead on top of the snow from starvation. How did it work out? The Bible says that again, because God knows what you need before you ask, He has already provided for you, and you may not see it, but He's already provided for you. Um, that's the way that is. So again, I come back to the question: how is your power source? How is your power source protecting, guiding, leading, instructing you to the point of where you are not living in fear? Understand, again, the Bible points to that God has not given you the spirit of fear. Let's stop right there. But of a strong mind. But He has not given you a spirit of fear. What does that mean? Well, we understand that anxiety, for example, is a overly concern about some future event or occurrence that you reflect on and see and think that you're not equipped for. Anxiety. Depression. Depression points back to your past, and it gives you or causes you to be regretful for your past. Understand this, please. What happened yesterday, what happened last year, what happened however long ago, you cannot change. I am sure all of you are very familiar on a very high level with how trauma impacts us, how trauma impacts us, and what a traumatic event does. It robs you of that space of time right then. And it causes you to react in specific ways. And one of the things that happens with trauma when we're being traumatized is the notion or the idea of the fight or flight syndrome. Syndrome, I'm sorry. Fight or flight syndrome, which is about either fight your way through and out of a situation or run from a situation. There have been recordings of animals, for example, who have been um, who have been shot with a dart. For example, they've been shot with a dart, so they could be tranquilized or whatever. For the animal, it is traumatizing. So the doctors, the vets, or whoever go in and they do what they need to do. And when the animal wakes up, when the animal wakes up, he wakes up running. He wakes up running because your mind, your brain freezes at that point of traumatization. That's what happens. And as you well know, anything can remind you and re-traumatize you of that event. You know that. It could be music, cologne, the look of a person, the act, all of that can remind you of the event, and what happens, you are re-traumatized again. So at Heart Mind Connection, we we teach and instruct how to not to be a victim of that trauma. There is a way. There is a way to not be a victim. It is not drugs. It is not tranquilizers. It is a way to recognize what's going on right now. Doctors have come to a point where they call that being mindful, mindfulness, which is living in the present right now. What's going on right now? Are you safe right now? What do you need to do? Can you move to safety? Can you remove yourself from a particular environment? And again, we teach how to, with tools. There are tools in the toolbox. And I hopefully next week when I come to you, I will be able to more solidify and show you some of those tools. There are 5 tools in the toolbox. And we will go through each one. It's the Bible, a mirror, the Bible, a mirror, a hammer, sandpaper, and a leveler. The Bible, mirror, hammer, sandpaper, and a leveler. All of those are very significant, very significant. You can use throughout the course of a day, you may use any given tool at any given time. The program is a 28 to 30-day program, and you will come through the program in a totally different place, a totally different place. When you base your journey, base this journey on from wherever you are in life, whatever stage of life you're in, you begin this journey. And the journey allows you to, just like a butterfly, allows you to be transformed, literally transformed from victim to victor. Literally transformed from victim to victor. So many of us live our lives in victimhood. We've been victimized. We've been damaged. We've been hurt. And for some reason, we can't get by it. I remember for myself, there were a group of people that made me so angry. Angry. And now, trust, anger is a deadly emotion. Anger can never, ever turn out, the display of anger would never turn out well. Someone shared with me, which is a very, what I thought was a profound thought. He said to me, when you are angry and you are expressing your anger, you do not know what you would do in any given situation. You just don't know. And the jail and prisons and hospitals are full and loaded with people who ask that salient question: how did I? What made me do that? I'm so sorry. But bad actions taken will never turn out well. We may, there's an expression now of people will not be disrespected. I will not let anyone disrespect me. Carry that wherever you want to journey with it. Understand though that angry responses will not turn out well. Um, that's what, for example, real quick, that's what the saw in the toolbox is for. You have to cut out some things out of your life. Cut them out. We were having a conversation with Lady J, a few weeks ago, and one of the part of the conversation was about using how people use words, more specifically the N word, and how people use it and what it means and all that sort of thing. Understand that certain things in your life. That's why this is one of the reasons I mentioned early on. How do you listen, read, and interpret things? How do you listen, read, and interpret things? Because your interpretation determines to a large degree your reaction. And if you are not interpreting through the lens, okay, through the lens of your power source, your power source, the power source we use the Bible, says, um, be angry and sin not. Be angry and don't determine. I got to go get him back. I have to go teach her. I have to go. That is too much. I believe that is too much. So again, with things turning in society the way they are, rapidly, rapidly, it just makes sense. It just makes spiritual sense that you connect with a power source that is present, that is active, and bigger than you are. If my God or my power source is no higher or no stronger than I am, then what good is that power source? What function does it serve? Um, I say this often. My power source and your power source needs to be of the kind that's able to open the door from the inside. A power source that is able to influence hearts and minds. A power source that can instruct someone to do something in your favor. That's a true power source. The way the Bible says it. Now remember, we're not doing a Bible studies here, Bible study here. That's why I'm not necessarily giving references or Bible text. You call me, text me. I can give you a reference or a text for all of these. The Bible says that um, my yoke is easy. So the image there is that a weaker one, such as myself, a weaker one, is yoked up, connected with one stronger. and might heal. So actually, if because I'm connected to one stronger, it's actually the one stronger that's carrying the weight. That's for sure. And I like that. I like the notion that I don't have to do it all myself. I don't have to figure out every turn and every. Sometimes that is too much. That is too much. We see people every day. You hear about them, you read about them, read about and hear about people every day who have become overwhelmed to where they say, I just can't do it anymore. I can't carry this anymore. That is overwhelming. That is overwhelming. So today we looked at the tool of the Bible. Um, Another part of the Bible, um, we say, the Bible says, um, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The essence of that is he's not speaking just to everyone. He is speaking to those who have made him their power source, who have made him their connection. Understand that there are specific things that God does for his people that are not generalized in general. They just are not. So understand that another thing that the Bible points out, and I think this is fascinating. God says, Jesus says, you have to abide in me. And apart from me, apart from me, you can do nothing. Hmm. Apart from me, you can do nothing. What is nothing? How much of nothing is nothing? We say we want to do this and accomplish that, which is well said and well stated, um, but we do not stay connected to the power source. How does that work? Now, the reason we are, excuse me, the reason we are staying with this so much today is you must come to an understanding that things in this world, things in our environment are turning so rapidly. Now, remember, the gas shortage or the gas prices going up. We still have the pandemic. They have not solved it. They have not solved it. Vaccinations and all of that, all those things are well and good. We still have people dying on a regular basis from cancer, heart disease, diabetes, suicide, accidents. The list goes on. The list goes on. And if you think about it, once you think about it outside of your own personal environment, then you can begin to see that you need a power source greater than yourself. All the stress and burden that you're putting on yourself is the very thing that's killing you. It's the very thing that's cutting your life short. Now, let me give a little more background on this. The reason The reason that I know that the Bible is a key tool is that when God created you, when God created you, he formed man in the dust of the ground. And from the dust of the ground, stay with me, God had put everything in man that he needed. His brain was there, his heart was there, his his mind was there, his organs, his heart, his lungs, his stomach, his hands, everything was there. It was there. But the Bible says God breathed life, breathed the breath of life in man, and he became a living soul. So I'm saying that to say you wake up every morning, every day that you woke up, today that you woke up, it is the breath of God in you that woke you up and causes you to live. Each one of us, stay with me please for this, each one of us has in us, I don't care how wretched, how foul, how bad, it doesn't matter. I'm not judging you for what you did, didn't, or almost did. But each one of us has in us a little bit of God, a little bit of Christ, because he breathed the breath of life into you. So your existence is on borrowed breath. And what God is doing, when God says, I know what you need, and all the things, other things I've said today, God is saying that little bit of me, that bit of me, that part of me, that part of me that is in you, I am connecting with that part. I am protecting that part. I am guiding that part. When you no longer have that part of God in you, you fail to be. You fail to be. I don't know what you're running on. Frank, I don't know. I don't know. Because God says, apart from me, you can do nothing. He said that you must abide in me. He said, I know what you need before you even ask. So the question again, as we started, what is your power source? What is your God source? What is your power source doing today to protect, guide, fight for you? Simple question. Um, does someone ask, if I don't acknowledge it, is it still there? Good question. Are you still here? Are you still here? Because he is connecting with that. That's that. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for a wonderful opportunity to talk. My telephone number again, 240-626-6849. Email heartmindconnection at icloud.com. We will be back next week and we will take another tool. We will deal with another tool in the toolbox. Next week, we're going to talk about the mirror. The mirror. And what I would ask you to do as a homework, assignment, as it were, if you would list out, I need you to write, list out 5 gifts that you know that you have received from God. 5 specific gifts that you know, gifts, talents, um, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it next week. I thank you. I thank you, and we're coming to the close of the program. I'm cutting it a little short today. We're in the process of doing some shifting of our physical location. We'll talk more about that next week. But again, next week we're going to talk about the tool, the mirror in the toolbox, and uh, how that how that impacts mental wellness. Mental wellness. No matter where you are, no matter what station you find yourself in life, no matter the station, you can begin a marvelous journey, the marvelous journey uh, of, of taking your life back, wiping away the doubt, the fears, all of that. These things are in your grasp, they're in your hand. Um, Thank you so very much. Again, we're cutting it a little short today. Thank you. Have a pleasant day. We will see you next week when we talk about the tool of the mirror in our toolbox. Thank you, Charlene, Lady J.